Wasps. What's your experience with them? Was it a positive experience, or like most of you, it was painful? This week, I want to show you the advantages of having wasps. Stay tuned. Here's the important thing to learn about a wasp nest. You can always approach a wasp nest really quite closely. They can sense fear and they can sense loud disturbances, but most of all, they can sense vibration. If I shake this branch, then of course they'll come out and sting me because their whole nest is disturbed. You see, look, those two just left. But the key is I'm not in their runway. I looked at them and I watched. What's their path? There's a path here and there's a path right towards the camera. As long as those two paths are not blocked, they're fine with me being here. So if in your property you have a wasp nest, spend some time watching where are they coming and going. And the most important, not to get stung, is just don't block the runway. The ones just on the outside of the hole are actually the guards. Their role is to prevent anything from coming in and disturbing basically preventing them from getting in or out. So you can have a wasp nest. I put the veil on just as a precaution, but now I know where they're going. They're going right by me, see? And they'll often warn you as well. They'll fly around your face. They don't want to waste venom. So they will basically give you a warning. Hey, you're getting too close or you're in my way. If you don't heed the warning, they will sting you. They're gone. Let's clarify first. When you say wasp, what type of wasp are you talking about? Most of you, your experience has been with social wasps. These are the ones that gather in groups, and there's a lot of wasps. They usually have warning coloration, yellow, black, orange, black, some kind of contrast that says, be careful. That's a warning coloration. So they're trying to warn you, be careful, stay away, don't bother me. The second group is solitary wasps. These for the most part, don't have a warning coloration. It could be a solid black or a solid blue insect, and they're not going to be colored to warn you because it's one solitary wasp that has a nest. So it's really not looking to defend its nest because it won't make much difference. The third group are parasitic wasps. You may have seen a horror story that showed, here's some creature coming out of a person. Hey, Hollywood is not necessarily coming up with new ideas. That is something that nature has done for millennia, actually millions of years. So it's nothing new for a creature to come out of another one. It's called a parasite. And in the case of parasitic wasps, you will most often see them as, let's say we got a little caterpillar here. It's not a caterpillar, but imagine this was a caterpillar, and it will be somewhere on a leaf or on a plant, and a parasitic wasp will come around, and if you ever see it, you're lucky, it'll just kind of touch it. What's it doing? Why would a wasp be trying to touch a caterpillar? It's not trying to touch it. Each time it makes contact, it's actually depositing an egg on that caterpillar, so that sometimes it's just one, sometimes there's quite a collection of eggs on a caterpillar. Now what happens after is that the egg has a little larvae, a little wasp larvae inside. That little larvae hatches, burrows into, now it's inside the caterpillar. Then what? It just starts to eat it from the inside out. It'll never touch the brain or the nervous system, but it'll eat everything else from that caterpillar. And then in the last stage, after it's eaten just about everything, the caterpillar is given the reaction that it grabs on hard onto a stem or on a branch or a leaf stem, and it's just holding so that that caterpillar can now emerge, break through out of the caterpillar and come out as a fully formed adult parasitic wasp, ready to go and find some other caterpillar to lay the eggs on. So that leads us to the biggest advantage of wasps. That's next. Now that we're clear on what type of wasp we're talking about, the greatest advantage of wasps is they are fierce predators. They are the wolves of the insect world. They're just wanting to kill even things that are as big as them. And one of their preferred foods are caterpillars. However, even in caterpillars, there are some that also have warning coloration, like this monarch here, eating milkweed. And I don't even know what this one is. But both of them have a characteristic, just as the social wasps, which are basically a warning combination of coloring. Don't eat me, I'm not good. And so the wasps aren't after those. They are after green, brown, delicious caterpillars that we could even eat because they're not toxic. They may not be great to eat, but they're not toxic. And that's what the wasps are really looking for. And that's their biggest advantage, is patrolling and searching in a plant or in a tree or in a shrub and being able to get those caterpillars. It's funny to have to look for damage. We have to look in our orchard, and hard to find damage by caterpillars this year. In fact, it's been hard for the last 10 years since we've redesigned the orchard as a permaculture orchard. But that's the advantage. Because it looks like a natural system, the caterpillars that are there are met by a lot of predators, and the fiercest one is the wasps. Since we're a U-pick orchard, we just put up caution tape warning people that there is a wasp nest. That way we can leave the wasp nest, have the orchard, have people come by, but not have them not knowing where a wasp nest is and discovering it in a bad way. So the same for you in your yard. If you know where they are, be cautious. Don't go there. Don't disturb them. That way you can have the wasps cohabit with them and they'll do their job. Finally, we found an old caterpillar nest from not that long ago. This is usually what happens now. Because we have a lot of wasps, we get this happening. We had a nest of caterpillars started, and you see, they moved around a little, but they didn't even eat the equivalent of one whole branch. And that is typical for the last 10 years, what's been happening in the permaculture orchard. Go see that. I love this caterpillar because we had tent caterpillars in such abundance that they were our worst pest when we had a monoculture organic apple orchard. Since we've changed how we set up the orchard, now we're set up with trios. Go see that video. And that has completely solved caterpillar problems. I went from it being the worst pest we had to now being excited to find some caterpillars. You can't imagine what that does for being able to farm without being concerned about caterpillars. And it's the same for your garden or orchard or fruit planting. So this is pretty well what happens. They start, they get going, they eat a few leaves, some wasps find them. And one of the big advantages is the wasps, once they find a whole collection of caterpillars, they will take the caterpillar, go to the nest, and then they'll return for another one, go back to the nest, and they'll keep doing that again and again. So this caterpillar nest has had a collection of two different visitors. There's been social wasps, and usually the clue is you can't find a trace of a caterpillar left. So that means the wasps actually grabbed them out of this tent and took them out. That's one predator group. And the second one was the parasitic wasps. And I found just 2 in here. So there could have been 2, maybe a few more, that actually got eggs laid on the caterpillars, because you'll see a mummified leftover of a caterpillar. So that means that that one would have been parasitized by a parasitic wasp. So this one was a combination. It didn't last long and it disappeared. This is the main reason why I love wasps and why I would like to impart onto you a love for wasps, a respect for them, and a recognition that they are doing such an important job. If you have rose bushes, if you have a plant that gets a lot of caterpillars, you really don't have a caterpillar problem. You have a lack of wasp problem. Let me say that again. You don't have a problem of having too many caterpillars. You really have a problem of not having enough wasps. That's what it comes down to. So this is why I can farm a permaculture orchard without resorting to insecticides. Wasps do the job for me, and they should do the job for you, and they want to. Take that. So now that you know what of the 3 types of wasps are you actually talking about when you mention wasps, you also know that they are fierce predators. That's their biggest advantage, especially predators of caterpillars. I hope you also know that you should learn to love them, respect them, tolerate them, allow them in your garden, your orchard, your fruit trees. Invite them if possible. That's really what I'd like you to understand and catch this week. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Hey, please subscribe and check out our latest video. Awesome.